Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Honestly, I'm not even mad. Yeah, it got pretty rough, especially that second half. But for those first few minutes, it was phenomenal, and we'll get to that later. Well, the big thing for me is that if I'm an Earthquakes fan, especially an Earthquakes player, I'm circling, and I got the date right over here, June 24th, when St. Louis comes to PayPal Park. I'm circling that date on my calendar, and I'm saying this is the day we're doing it. This is the day we're trying to get our revenge and show that they got lucky that day, and that it was just because of some misfortunate injuries. That first 30 minutes, that's one of the best games I've seen. I couldn't believe end-to-end, super high pressing, great ball. It was very, very fun to watch. I know people aren't going to agree with that because of the score, but that's what it is being an Earthquakes fan. Sometimes you just look at the score line, not the game. Those first 30 minutes were incredible, and that's without Jamiro Montero. Yeah, I figured it was going to be high scoring. I figured we would have got a goal. We talked a lot about that on our Twitter spaces. If you haven't gone to them, you can go to Tectonic Takes. Sometimes before the games on Twitter, we'll do little Twitter live spaces, or we'll do little pack openings on Instagram Live. And we also give away cards on Instagram Live. So if you want to check that out, be sure to check that out on Tectonic Takes and or Aftershock on Instagram and Twitter. I also just want to get it out of the way. I don't blame JT. I don't blame JT. I've seen so much of it. We'll get to it later, but I don't blame JT. Those were all chances that if our forwards were in those positions, we'd be saying, oh, put in Cade instead. Oh, put in Espinoza should have been there. Oh, Benji should have been there. So I don't blame JT at all. Let's move on to
the negatives.
Yeah, depth. Depth is the big one. We made some good signings, but we can see there is a drop-off, and this is something that I talked about in the last few episodes. Depth is a concern, and we saw it today. Jamiro wasn't here, so we throw in Tommy Thompson, who I thought for 4 minutes was the focal point of everything. I thought everything went through him, and it was looking dangerous. I thought for 20 minutes it looked really good, and then I thought Starter could not be able to hold at the pace for a long time. Baldissimo, boy ran. He ran a lot, but I didn't really get to see a lot of him offensively, and he carried the ball first, so that was definitely a drop-off from Grayzo in that respect, more of a Judson role when he was playing. Who else was there? Benji. It doesn't run back as much as Cade. It was good. Like Benji, he missed a good chance, but he didn't get as much of an opportunity. And I'm not trashing these guys. They're great. They're pros, obviously. But our depth, there is a drop-off from the Yule, Montero, Grayzo options. Injuries. Yeah, this is going to be rough for the next few games. Grayzo, he was injured and he played for another 5 minutes so that Baldissimo could warm up. Yeah, just so many. Rodriguez went down. There was one more. I can't remember. It was a long game, but yeah, that was rough to see how many injuries we're going through. It was cold. We didn't either warm up correctly or we were wearing tights. We should have been wearing tights, but yeah, I get this is where you learn about the squad, and this is where Lucci and especially Chris Leach can learn, hey, this is where we need to pick up some areas. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Might cause some bad results, might cause a stronger squad in the end. In the long run, though, I have a feeling this might work out for us. Not as far as playoffs, but I feel like as far as building our squad. Lucci, I like his mindset, and Chris Leach has done a phenomenal job. So I'm trying to stay positive with it, even though we're in a section called the negatives. Next one, silly yellow, a few minutes in by Rodriguez to slap the ball away. I get wasting that, but then he had to defend not as strong, and I could have arguably say that leads to the first goal because he can't go in as hard. So that's super unfortunate that we're just giving away silly yellows still. I think the big thing with this game that really hurt us offensively is we didn't switch the ball as much. I feel like we did a phenomenal job of breaking on the press, especially early on. We were willing to play those dangerous balls, and in the back, maybe we'd switch a little bit. When we committed to a side, the midfielders committed to a side. We weren't willing to churn, and I saw multiple times players saying churn, and then after the midfielder would be like, sorry, my bad. We didn't switch the side of the game, and when they're playing in a 4-4-2, that middle is so open, and they were over-committing, and they were really trying to break us down and do a trap in each of the corner sections, and we were breaking out of it, but then we would just play the simple ball there, which I like, but then no one decided to switch it or drive it forward. We didn't have Miro really to get the ball, drive us forward, and then Grayson was doing a little bit, and he got injured, and we didn't get that with Baldissimo. So that's, I think, something that hurts a lot today. If I'm Christian Espinoza, I'm pissed. He was sprinting back. He was playing right back at some points. He was getting up. He was beating players one-on-one. He was doing skill moves I'd never even seen before. He was putting in really good crosses. He had a few shots that were in, but some good shots too. And just, yeah, I'd be mad if I was him. He was working like a dog and just didn't go his way. But you know what? A lot of people are saying bad things about Quakes. I don't think the scoreline fully reflects the game. It reflected the second half. I don't think that first 30 minutes was incredible. And so that's why we should talk about it in the positives. Those first 30 minutes, we communicated. We fought. We looked good. We were playing the ball. That's some of the best MLS soccer I've ever seen. I don't care what anyone says. It was so good. Final third, top half could work on, but the way we were moving on press, end to end, high intensity, coming back, organized defense. We had a corner when it was like 4 corners were on the 4th one, they played it short, and we were so smart to go up, and then we had triggers, and where we were stepping, everyone was communicating. It was phenomenal to see. This is very promising. So we got to find the diamond in the rough, because it did end up getting rough. This is a great St. Louis team that have played together for a whole year prior to this in MLS Next. Bundesliga players, Roman Berkey, their goalkeeper, Champions League finalist for Borussia Dortmund, all together for a whole year with a German core playing against MLS Next Pro 17-year-olds, our 17-year-old Quakes 2 players, Cruz Medina, Nathan Scott, Max Afstrin, playing against them, and a whole year together. And now they're here in a phenomenal city of St. Louis. I love them in the US. I love the team. I hate that people are saying they're just getting lucky each game. It's part of the game. You got to fight, and those boys know how to fight. Those St. Louis boys know how to fight. I gotta give them props. They had heart, they had passion, and they had skill. And Klaus, hats off to him. I got nothing but respect for that fan base and that squad. It was really, really good. They went in hard, but like in a good, respectful way, not dirty. So again, just gotta chop it up to that and some injuries. I appreciate Asoni Buda making the most of his opportunity. He said, I'm out there, only 3 minutes, I'm gonna sprint my butt off. I'm gonna go for every play, I'm gonna try and create. He really made the most of his minutes. I think he deserves a look next week. I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought he looked great. I think he deserves a look next week. At least in training, maybe look at him a little bit more. Obviously, gotta see how he trains and what the game plan is for each game. But Asoni Buda really made the most of his opportunities. Like I said earlier, a lot of bounces didn't go our way, especially I think it was on the second goal where it was like 1v1 versus JT. And JT made a phenomenal save. I know everyone's kind of been on him. He did spill one ball, but like I said, if our strikers missed any of the chances that were scored on JT, we'd be mad. But he had, phenomenal save. And then just lucky bounces didn't go our way. They popped one more. Can't be too mad. I'm not mad at Louie. I thought he got it right. I thought he did what he could. It was creative. Tommy was doing great. And I like the switch, try and match him. It was creative, get our 4 forwards on there, go for the attacking play. Didn't work out. He did what he could. I was happy with it. I'm not mad. Yeah, some things didn't sway our way. Cade could have got 1-2 goals that would change the momentum. Unlucky he didn't get to the end of it. He's fast, couldn't get there. Benji hit a ball. It's his first time really getting some good minutes in a while. He was pretty cold in a cold atmosphere. I'm not too mad. They need to bury those, don't get me wrong. It's not, I don't want to say it's unacceptable, but they need to bury those. But I'm not super mad. Again, it was very promising. Those first 30 minutes made me really, really happy. The rest got really hard to watch, and I just... But yeah, our 2 losses have reversed great teams, and for this game we were competing, if not the better team, for 30 minutes. And then, I won't say we're the better team. And then versus Atlanta, we were the better team almost the entire game, and then they had a World Cup winner, scored 2 against us, and then we beat 2 non-playoff teams. So I'm not really too mad about this right now. And it's a brand new squad, so many new players and so much new staff. And we're figuring out this early. I like it. We just got to keep moving the momentum forward and not settle. Let's move on to the unsung moment of the game. For me, that's got to be Luchi Gonzalez making the change. Not scared to change things up. Go head-to-head with it. Match it. Different tactics. Try and do it. I like it. Trying to bring new things to it. Bringing ideas to the game. Trying to build an identity and trying to see what we can do. I love it. But let's move on to the unsung hero of the game. I don't even think it's unsung. It's hard to pick in this game. But Christian Espinoza, like I said earlier, working like a dog. Beating people one-on-one. Tracking back to right back. Then going to right wing immediately. After being one-on-one. Putting in a dangerous cross or taking a shot. Absolutely great from Espinoza in a game that became really rough really quickly. Let's move on to some fan questions, though. First one from Robert Blech. Sorry. Why are the Quakes so chippy today? I loved it. We were fighting. I think it's because St. Louis are just some dogs. They got some dogs in them. They were fighting. They were going in hard, and I think we just tried to match the energy. It's a football life for me. He says he's got no questions. Local Nightmare says Emmy in next game. JC looks shaky. I didn't think JC looked shaky. I think he had the one bobble. It happens. It's whatever. But he had a good save, and again, deflection goal off Tanner Beeson goes in. 2 1v1s, one splits in between legs. He's trying to cover up space. Klaus is on fire. He scored or assisted in every game for them. So I'm not really too mad. I don't think JT really looks shaky. I don't think our goalkeepers have got tested this year. I don't think they really got too many opportunities. JT got a little tested this game, got a good save. So I can't really rate them yet. I just don't think Emmy should be in. I don't think that Emmy shouldn't not be playing, but I don't think it's been a case of let's put Emmy in, if that makes any sense. And then last one from Gabe Salvador. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce his name. Why did we suck so bad? Yeah, I don't think we sucked. I think the first 30 minutes. Okay, well, let me take that back. I think the first 30 minutes we were phenomenal. It got a little bit rougher. Just like, again, the depth isn't as good as we thought. Game plan had to change. We're missing Jamiro Montero, and then our second defensive mid changes the whole style of play. Baldissimo is a completely different type of defensive mid than Guerrezo is, and then Tommy is different from Montero. So it really changes the game plan and how we're gonna play.